welcome back to another riveting and mind-expanding math depth what's the word? Math depth defying. Yeah, there you go. Math depth defying lesson today on decimals. Last we left off, we were talking about adding and subtracting decimals. Today we're going to be talking about multiplying decimals. And, you know, the good news is with multiplying decimals, you have some basic skills already in tow that will help you do this multiplication. It's really quite simple, and I think you'll figure it out relatively quickly. So I started off with the first one here as 1 6/10 times 21 hundredths. One of the tricks we want to stick with when we're doing these multiplication problems is to basically set these up as if there was no decimal in it. So in this case, I'm going to do it like this. There. So there it's duplicated. And I'm going to take this problem apart a little bit. And I'm going to go... Now, with adding and subtracting, we know that we would line up decimals. We don't need to do that with multiplying. We don't need to line them up. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the decimals and actually any unnecessary zeros. If you know what an unnecessary zero is, if you look here, this number, this zero right here, is saying there's a zero in the ones place, so it's an unnecessary zero. Some zeros are necessary, some are not. So I'm going to do the same thing here. There's no zeros to take out, but I can take out this decimal. So now I end up with 21 times 16. Pretty basic multiplication problem. And we go ahead and we start multiplying. And 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, put a 0 here, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, I get 6, 3, 3. Now, when I go back into the problem and I look at the decimals, I'm going to go and count up how many decimal places there are. Okay, so what we'll do here is we're going to count up all the numbers that come to the right of all the digits that come to the right of the decimal. And if you count them up, I have 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go and count decimal places also. So what we do is we go to the far right side of the number. So the far right would be to the right of the 6, and count in how many places it takes to get 3 decimal places. So we're going to go from here. From here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Since a decimal comes between the number, that's why we count between the numbers. So my decimal is going to go right there, and it goes... So decimals are counted between the numbers, and I counted 3 places. So I went 1, 2, 3, and the decimal goes right there. And then one of the other things I like to do is to make sure to put a 0 in the ones place. So I get a grand total of 336 thousandths. That's how you multiply decimals. Let's try another one here. I have 695 thousandths times 83 hundredths. So the trick is, of course, to look at this as if it's 695 times 83. So I line these all up, and I'm going to get rid of the decimals and unnecessary zeros, like that. And there's a decimal and an unnecessary zero right here. And so I'm going to end up with 695 times 83. We're going to take a shortcut here. When we multiply that all out, we get 57,685. I'm going to skip all the multiplication. I get 5, 7, 685 when I multiply that out. And then I just have to go count decimal places. So here's where you guys need to take action here. how many decimal places are there in this number? There's 1, 2. Remember all the numbers to the right of the decimal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do this with all the numbers you're multiplying together. You count all the decimal digits. Okay, now I counted 5. So in this case, I have 5 decimal digits I have to count. So always start from the far right and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember to count between the numbers. That's key. And we're going to switch back to white here. And I'm going to make myself a little decimal point. And the decimal is going to go right there. And then don't forget, a good mathematician's always going to put the 0 in the front. So you get 0 and 57,685 hundred thousandths. It's the tenths, the hundredths, the thousandths, the 10 thousandths, the 100 thousandths. And that's how you multiply decimals. Very simple, very easy. It's like magic, right? From the tip of your fingers. Yeah. There it is. If you have questions, of course, you know where to find me. Toodaloo.